Welcome, everybody, to Bird's Nest Stadium in beautiful Georgetown, Kentucky on Friday night, October the 1st, 2021. The weather is perfect. The crowd, phenomenal. The atmosphere, incredible. And we think the game itself has a fair to middling chance of living up to all of that. It is the Battle of the Birds, Scott County against Great Crossing. Great Crossing, the de facto home team tonight, wearing their road whites. Scott County will be in the black. Great Crossing comes in with a record of 5-0. Scott County with a record of 2-3. And if you dropped in from another planet, you'd look at that and think, okay, well, Great Crossing might be the heavy favorite in this game. But I would say full stop to that is tradition and the results of the first 2 years of this rivalry, and maybe to some degree, to a big degree, strength of schedule this year kind of level that out. And Scotty Sutton, we're expecting a battle tonight from both sides.
I don't think there's any question. And we've talked about this game since the first week when we got a chance to watch both of them play. We could see the improvement out of Great Crossing. We know the tradition of Scott County High School, and we were so excited about it. And I think it's going to be a great game tonight.
My name's Cal Oakes, and we're happy to be here with you. We're expecting, probably from the looks of things, by the time kickoff, I would say between 4,000 and 5,000 would be a good crowd estimate. You had to walk a long way to get here, even if you arrived an hour before the game. We're about 7 minutes to kick off. Both teams still awaiting the opportunity to take the field. We've got some special guests here tonight. They are tossing the coin as we speak. Great Crossing won the toss and deferred its option to the second half. So Scott County will receive, and we'll see their offense first when we get going. But, Scotty, we mentioned the records. Great Crossing, 5-0. They finally got that first ranking in the statewide media poll this week, number 9 in the AP in Class 5A. They feel like they've not gotten a lot of respect statewide. Some of that, as we've talked about, their schedule, while it has been manageable for them, has not been the same as Scott County has faced. And Jim McKee made that point. He said, look, we think most other schools in the state, if they played the schedule we'd played up till now, they would be 2-3 as well. And you got to admit there's probably some truth to that.
There is. On both sides there's truth to that. If you're Scott County, you have played some terrific teams. And that's the way they've always done it. They played a tough schedule, and then come playoff time, they're ready to roll. But on the flip side, I go to where Mark Stoops said a week ago, and he said, we're never going to apologize for winning all our games. And so Great Crossings, it is what it is. They played their schedule, but they've won every game. And so it's okay. Now we're here. Let's battle.
There's something to that. UK knows that in the SEC, it's going to play Florida. It's going to play Georgia. Just like Alabama knows it's going to face Auburn and LSU. Yeah. You don't need to apologize for, playing some games that you got to feel a good feeling about. Aside from those, Great Crossing knows it has to play Douglas, knows it has to play Scott County, and the way that Coach Ricky Bowling felt would best prepare this team is to get that confidence under its belt and win impressively. They have, as we have mentioned before, their defense ranked among the top 1 or 2 in the state in just about every category of 5A.
They have, and in talking to some of the assistant coaches this week, this is going to be their biggest test. They know that facing the wing tee, they have to stay disciplined. You never know where the ball is going to go. There's a lot of misdirection. But I hate to be that guy, Cal, but the bottom line is I think in this game is it's going to come down to who wins in the trenches. Mm-hmm. Because if Scott can't, if they're able to get 4 or 5 yards of play and they're just running that clock and then they score, it's going to be deflating because Great Crossings has been so good on defense, and B, because you're keeping the ball out of Nichols' hands, who loves to throw it. And I think on the flip side of that, even though we've seen some big plays from Great Crossings this year, I think they want to have a controlled, sustained drive to where they can keep the ball out of Scott County's offense as well. So it's going to come down to who controls that line of scrimmage, and I'm anxious to see it because we have seen both sides where Scott County on the offensive line has dominated play. And then on the flip side, Great Crossings defense, we've seen a couple games where the other teams had just a couple first downs, as crazy as that sounds.
Right. And both defenses, I would say the defense for both teams has been the calling card this year. We're so used to that wing T offense being so unstoppable. And they did have that game against Dunbar where they were 8 for 8. But for the most part, this defense, they shut out Dunbar. They shut out Lafayette. Last week, they only gave up 1 touchdown to Douglas in the first 2.5 quarters before finally I think they wore down in that game. And part of the reason they wore down, Scott County just couldn't sustain anything offensively until a relatively meaningless drive at the end of that game. Scott County had a total of about 40 yards against Douglas. It was just not a pretty night, easily the fewest yards I've seen them accumulate against an opponent in the past 6 seasons, and you have to go back a long way because obviously the success this program's had. So that offensive line, those backs, that quarterback, Andrew Hickey, they're all a little annoyed with that, and they're hungry to get back out here and prove that that's not them, and they're going to be facing a defense, as we said, that's always licking its chops.
Yeah, and when you're looking at both coaches, if they're going into this game thinking, okay, we know it's going to be a defensive war, then you're talking about field position. Instead of going for it maybe on your own 40, then you may punt it, hoping for maybe a turnover inside their 20, or a bad punt if you get a 3 and out. So it'd be interesting to see how both teams play this.
We are at midfield right now. You look at that crowd that's gathering. They are recognizing some heroes. One in particular is a gentleman by the name of Alvin Edwards. If you have not been paying attention to the story in the past week, on the way home from the Douglas game, the bus that was carrying the Scott County defense basically burst into flames. There was a fire in the left rear of the bus. This truck driver, he had said he was going the wrong way, and his GPS was rerouting him when he came up on the Scott County bus. He got the attention of the bus driver, of coaches Monty McIntyre and Chris Travis, got that bus to pull over, got those kids off safely. And he's a big reason we're here tonight, folks. That situation could have come out a lot worse, and we just owe a debt of gratitude. Thanks to the Lord above, and thanks to Mr. Edwards for answering the call when he had a chance to.
Absolutely. It puts such a perspective on things because that could have turned into just a tragic situation.
And look at both sides here.
Yeah.
Standing ovation.
So awesome, too, that they are recognizing him tonight. That's just great.
He's being presented with a framed jersey, number 35. I heard different numbers all week long, but I guess ultimately that's the number of people that were on the bus, 35, including the coaches and the driver. And those are the lives that, quite frankly, Mr. Edwards had a big role in saving, or at least making sure there was no danger. A lot of things were lost, some equipment, some cell phones, some duffel bags, but all things that can be replaced. And we're just thankful. Thankful to be here tonight, thankful to play the great game of football, and we are looking forward to bringing you a good one here from Bird's Nest Stadium. West Banco is part of this presentation as well. They're one of our great sponsors, presenting him with many tokens of appreciation from our community. This game is brought to you as a title sponsorship by Georgetown Community Hospital. We want to thank them for being here tonight. They have a physical therapy and rehabilitation center on site for children and adults, and later this fall they are opening a new pediatric therapy center designed with kids in mind. Their therapists are amazing, so check them out. Thank you to Georgetown Community Hospital. They will present tonight's Player of the Game award, and there is Mr. Edwards receiving that framed jersey. And he has been declared a Kentucky Colonel. There aren't many honors in the Commonwealth higher than that. So congratulations to Mr. Edwards. A well-earned honor, as the crowd will stand and acknowledge him once again. And as you said, puts this game into perspective. We're excited about playing in about 2 minutes. Everybody will strap on the helmet, and all these things will be forgotten. For this one moment, we're just glad to be able to acknowledge this hero of our community.
Well, that's just what that was the word that I was going to use, was the community right there. You saw both sides stand up and cheer. Everybody's here in the county, and when it comes to somebody like that who's saving lives, then everybody's grateful.
It is football. Sometimes it divides us, but it's certainly one of the few things in this country that still brings us together, I think, sometimes. And here's an example of an extension of the sport of football and this event that happened to Scott County last week. Bringing us together for just a moment before this game. Looks like the field is just about clear, and the officials will get things going here shortly. We mentioned Scott County will receive. They've had some good fortunes in the return game this year. They've got a healthy Campton Martin back. They've got Jeremy Hamilton, who has scored 7 touchdowns in just about every conceivable fashion this year. He'll be back there as well. Jesse Fair will kick it off. And both crowds come to their feet again, this time for the kids on the field. And we are just about ready to go. Thank you for joining us here on the NFHS Network and on newsgraphic.com. So glad to be bringing this action to you. The third annual Battle of the Birds is underway. Short kickoff taken at the 17. And it will go no farther than the 30 as Pilot Lacasco ties that up. Look like it. I'm not sure if it was Jeremy Hamilton or Ellis Hughley on the return, but they bring it to the 32. And that's where Scott County will go to work. We mentioned their freshman quarterback, Andrew Hickey. Tough game last week, 1 for 10, got sacked numerous times. I'm sure he saw Mr. Davis Joyner in his dreams or nightmares, but he's taken the hits and kept on coming, and Coach McKee is high on his future. He will hand off to Montego Jones here up the middle. Jones wearing one of those donated helmets, silver instead of red. And he'll be wrapped up quickly after a gain of maybe a couple.
And that's what you expect out of both sides. Scott County comes out, does what they do. They're going to pound that fullback, and Great Crossings held steady at the line of scrimmage and gets him for just, a few yards.
2nd and 7 from the 35. Jones in the backfield along with Martin. Now Jones will split out into the slot and go in motion, and now we've got timeout. Looks like Jim McKee wants to talk it over. Wasn't the formation that he wanted.
And that's not we've talked about that before. In the first half, you don't like something, go ahead and use that timeout. The second half, you don't like to use them, but this is a big play. He just wants to make sure everybody's where they need to be, and we'll see what they come out with.
It's officially October 1st, and we hope the ladies in the sound of our voice are thinking about getting a mammogram this month in honor of breast cancer awareness. Our sponsor, Georgetown Community Hospital, offers 3D mammography and will be offering gifts for patients all month. Visit their website at georgetowncommunityhospital.com to learn more. Here's the handoff. Again, it's Martin this time. He will burrow ahead for 3, where he's taken down by Caden Allen. It'll be 3rd and 4. Just Scott County doing what Scott County do.
That's right. And same thing, I was wondering how that Great Crossings defensive line would hold up, but so far exactly what we thought. They've been strong all year.
It's going to be wrapped up for a loss, and Scott County is going to be 3 and out on its opening possession as Peyton Harris and Caden Allen weren't fooled by that whatsoever, but now we've got a flag down, so let's see what that's all about. Sideline warning, so it'll be against Scott County, and the Cardinals most likely will punt.
Well, that's just terrific penetration right there. They run the jet sweep, and you can't get to the corner if they're going to be in the backfield as soon as you get the ball, and that's what happened right there. It's interesting because I was wondering, had Scott County got a couple yards there and made it 4th and 1, would they have gone for it? But we're never going to know now.
Because it's 4th and 8.
Yeah.
Christian Rodriguez back to punt. from his own 21. Ball will be snapped from the 33, and now looks like they're
game.
going backwards again as that took too long, way too long, and this has been an inauspicious start for Scott County.
And the Great Crossing crowd loves it.
They're going to eat it up, as it's pretty familiar to what they've seen so far. They've seen a lot of 3-and-outs this year. They've seen a lot of tackles for loss. And they've seen their team get off the quick starts. That's a high snap. Rodriguez pulls it down and gets off a good kick under the circumstances. It will take a Scott County hop and go out of bounds at the 34 of Great Crossings. With 9:57 remaining in the first quarter, Great Crossing will go to work from there.
Boy, I tell you what, that was an unbelievable play because that could have been disaster. A one-handed catch right there on the snapback. Just a beautiful job by the punter.
38-yard kick for Rodriguez.
And here's what we'll see, with Great Crossings. We talked about how they wanted to maintain and sustain the drives. But will they come out and just start firing the ball down the field? We've seen Nichols do it all year.
They have improved dramatically with every week on offense. Nichols will throw on first down. He'll find on the sideline, looks like Coulter. He won't get much as he's pushed out of bounds after a gain of a couple.
Well, and we've seen 4 plays so far, and the offenses are just going to do what they do. I mean, they're not going to go away from, you've got a program in Scott County who's been doing it forever and had tremendous success. And I love that Great Crossing is going to come out and say, okay, you're just going to have to stop us. We respect you, but we're going to we're going to throw the ball downfield. That's what Gabe Nichols has done all year.
And they like to start off with that nice safe pass to get him kind of into a rhythm,
yes,
which is exactly what they do here. Now it is Cobbins wrapped up after a very minimal gain by Jeremy Hamilton. And it will be 3rd and long. They'll give him his forward progress just past the 38. So it will be 3rd and 6. It's manageable. But both defenses early being heard from.
Be interesting to see if Monty McIntyre brings the heat here.
He's been known to do it all year.
Yeah. Long-time defensive coordinator, knows what he's doing.
They've got pretty good safety valves back there in Hamilton, Garner, and Armstrong that haven't been burned too much in the passing game. That was thrown in the flat right to the stick. A good leaping catch. Scott County covered it well, but it looks like it's going to be a first down.
And Cal, just a tremendous throw because Scott County only came with 3. They played back, they played in the zone, and they had that double covered. And, boy, Nichols put it in the only place that he could.
And how many leaping catches have we seen from Zachary Kelly, who makes another one? And his awareness of where the marker was gets Great Crossing a first down just shy of the 45. Jackson Saylor and Jeremy Hamilton made the tackle, but a fresh set of downs for the Warhawks with 8:40 to play in the opening quarter. Here's a handoff to Cobbins again. That won't get anywhere. Elijah Adams met him there along with others.
Both defensive lines are just fierce.
Quinn Brown, he is a big load at 5'11", 263, the nose guard. He was there as well. Jasante Harmon has been a force in the middle, too, at 265 pounds this year, and he's only a sophomore. This is a young Cardinal roster. 14 of their 22 starters against Dunbar were underclassmen here in their last home game. Nichols will look to throw again. He's got lots of time. He'll find Kelly. Oh, it's dropped, incomplete. Kelly has made the hard ones look easy, but a relatively easy one. He heard the footsteps, and it slipped out of his hand there. So it'll be 3rd and 10. Clock stops at 7:58 to play, opening quarter.
Yeah, I think that was the ball was put right on his numbers. I think Hamilton came in late and maybe got a hand.
Good coverage there by Hamilton. And we talked about what he did to Dane Key last week.
Yeah.
Broke up a couple in the end zone just like that.
Last 3rd down, they only brought 3. Let's see. Now they're bringing a late blitz.
Nichols with plenty of time to throw again. He's got Perry down there out of the sideline. Great catch over the shoulder. Perry will have a first down at the Scott County 26.
What a throw and catch.
And what a catch. He knew where they're going to mark it at the 28, but a great throw by Nichols right on a dime for 28 yards.
That's from the right hash all the way over to the left sideline. Just dropped it in a bucket, and Perry stays in bounds. Man, I don't care who you're playing, that's going to be a completion.
First and 10 at the 28. They're going to run it again. This time it's Allen, those strong legs churning ahead. Get to the 20. Big gain on first down. His first carry of the night, good for 8 yards.
And I wonder if Coach Boland right here will play action and try to go for the end zone. You got to figure he's going to go for it on fourth down at the 20-yard line, so he would still have 2 chances to get that first. Let's see if he plays a little bit right here. You got the quarterback to do it. Nichols has just been terrific all year.
He's been perfect tonight, just a drop, but he has put 3 others on a dime. 3 different receivers, Coulter, Kelly, and now Perry. And stumbling ahead, lost his footing, and that will help Scott County get the tackle for loss, as they were right there, Cam Keller. And that's going to put Great Crossing back to the 20, about the 22. So they're going to need 3 yards, maybe a short 4 on third down. 4 down territory for sure. They've had some misadventures in the kicking game.
And the last couple times on third down, they've only brought 3 or 4, and we'll see if they put more guys in the box here. Looks like their linebackers are creeping up. Yeah,
crowd getting into it early. Nichols is going to have to scramble. He'll get rid of it, and it's going to be incomplete. Both his man, Perry, and converging a couple of Scott County defenders were there, and he smartly threw it where nobody could get to it. It'll be 4th and 4.
He did, and that was a terrific job by him. And I tell you, Coach McIntyre, though, from Scott County, bringing the pressure from a different point that time. That time he brings it from the inside linebacking position. The last time he brought it from the outside. The chess match will continue all game long.
Fourth down, we've got whistles. Timeout, Great Crossing with 6:16 remaining here in the first quarter. They want to talk it over, and rightfully so. Big spot early in the game here.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about how good both defenses are. When you get a chance to score, this could be a play right here where we come back in the fourth quarter and we're talking about this play coming up.
This is probably not a game that we're expecting to be 48 to 47. This is a game where points are probably going to be at a premium.
And I wouldn't be surprised if, as good as Nichols is throwing that ball, if he went with maybe a read option here and kept it himself and tried to get to the outside.
You always have the Caleb Perry and the Wildcat in play well
That's
in this
exactly
situation.
Right.
You got to think Scott County has scutted that out a little bit, but
they're going to know where he is at all times, but that doesn't mean
Nichols is on the field, as is Perry. Nichols in the shotgun. Lone setback is Allen. Perry is split out to the left. He's got Kelly on the right coming at him. Blindside, strip sack. Doesn't matter who gets the ball because it's going to belong to Scott County. I didn't see who came in from the blind side. Did you?
Looks like Jeremy Hamilton.
Might have been Hamilton, and getting the ball is Cam Keller. Valencia is
Valencia.
And Cam Keller comes up with a fumble, and that keeps it scoreless.
That was well disguised right there. Valencia on a receiver, and then to bring that corner blitz, never saw him.
Midway through this opening period, the give is to Martin, and he will get strung out to the right side and won't get anywhere. 3-4 white shirts all over him.
And again, that's where the discipline comes in. When I talked to the coaches from Great Crossing, they talked about we have got to stay disciplined, stay in our lanes, stay in our gaps, because in the misdirection in the wing tee, if not, they'll break off a big run. And right there, they played it beautifully.
It'll be 2nd and 11. Another tackle for loss as Martin will get pushed back.
Great Crossings has 8 guys in the box, Cal.
I think that's until they prove they can throw it, that's the wise move. Although up the middle, churning Montego Jones getting a good surge up past the 35. That'll make it 3rd and short.
And, you know, it's funny. We have seen it for years and years, but that's been a staple of Scott County on 2nd and long. They'll just hand it off to the fullback, and they'll get 6 or 7, 8 yards. And now it makes it 3rd and manageable.
It is indeed a 3rd and 2, so Jones will pick up 9. He's been their leading rusher. He didn't get much last week, and he didn't see much action in the first week, but in the 3 games in between, he was the focal point. And he'll get it again here with a lot of room, a 1st down and more up past the 40. That's the first time Scott County has moved the sticks tonight.
Well, they know where their bread is buttered, and they're just going to keep hammering it. So,
Cardinals with a new set of downs at their own 41, 4:25 and rolling here in the first quarter. No score if you're just joining us. Just about every seat here is taken tonight on a beautiful Friday night.
Man. That's the first real hole that we've seen on the Scott County side.
And he just ripped that open, could have driven a truck through it. There's a fumble as they hit the quarterback. Hickey gets leveled and picking it up. There's the Warhawks. Will Frazier, he's made the plays all season long. And this will give the Warhawks great field position.
And I tell you, just instinct right there was to fall on that football. But Caden Allen was ready to pick it up and run it in for a score. Looked like he could have done that, but that's still a tremendous play right there. I wouldn't be a bit surprised right here to see a play action and throw it to the end zone.
I'm going to say, you've got to try to go for the jugular here.
Anytime you get a turnover, I've always loved trying to make a big play after a turnover. Let's see what they do.
It's been a defensive battle so far, an exchange of turnovers. Matching fumble recoveries by Cam Keller of Scott County and Will Frazier of Great Crossing. And the Warhawks go back to work with 4:04 to play in a scoreless opening quarter. Frazier will go quick to the right to Kelly. He's wrapped up by Saylor, but not before he picks up 5 to the 23.
And that's that safe play that we saw in the first play of the game. Just a quick out. And, you know, Scott County's playing a 2-high safety, which would tell you you're going to run the ball. But I like that play right there. You get 4 or 5 yards on 1st down, and then you've got every play in your playbook.
This is certainly nothing like any first quarter we've seen in this series. Scott County jumped out 21-0 last year, and we know 2 years ago it was no contest from the start. Here's a pitch going the other way. Good yardage and a 1st down. Isaiah Johnson, haven't seen him in the offensive scheme much for the Warhawks, but he picks up a big gain to the 16. And Great Crossing in the red zone with 3:18 to play here in the opening period.
And that's a play we haven't seen much. Just a quick pitch to the outside and really just try to win a one-on-one. He did have a receiver out there, but did a nice job of cutting it back and picking up that 1st down.
That's back to those triple option roots from 2019 of this program. And Johnson gives him a 1st down at the Scott County 16. Inside handoff, spinning forward is Cobbins inside the 10. He'll pick up 7 on 1st down. They'll mark it at the 10, so call it a 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4.
That's a couple of runs in a row where they're getting big chunks of yardage. And if you're Scott County, that's going against your strength. And that can be disheartening when you know how good that Great Crossings can throw the ball.
Andrew Wilhite made the tackle there. Crossing's got a lot of options on 2nd and short. They'll give to Cobbins again. He will be met shy of the stick, but it will be 3rd and maybe less than a yard.
A couple linebackers right there just stuck him.
Elijah Adams, who's been the leading tackler for this Cardinal squad, along with Will Height for most of the season.
Yeah, just a super form tackle right there.
The first down marker is just shy of the 6, and the ball is just shy of the 7, so we'll call it 3rd and 1. Clock is moving, 1:40 to play, opening period. Play clock is under 10, and now they're signaling maybe timeout. Yeah, I think the Warhawks are going to have to talk this over, as they will burn their second TO of this opening period, 1:31 to play.
Coach not happy about that. First time it was okay, let's talk about it, but right there, it felt like he had the play in. He's trying to figure out why they didn't get out and execute it.
Want to remind you, if you're listening to this game, you are listening to News Graphic. Newsgraphic.com is where to go for the story of this game tonight or in the morning. Please do subscribe Tuesdays and Fridays, all the county sports action from both schools and beyond. Also want to thank some of our other sponsors: Bluegrass Orthopedics, Galvin's on Main, DMK CPA, Brickhouse Properties, real estate buying and selling made easy, Chick-fil-A, Toyota Motor Manufacturing of Kentucky, Clark's Pump and Shop with 3 Georgetown locations, West Banco, Greens Toyota of Lexington, Ozer Paint and Flooring, Scott County Veterinary Clinic, People's Bank, and Time to Shine Car Wash. We'll get to the others later on. Big play here, 3rd and 1 from the 7. Nichols in the shotgun.
Got single coverage out here to the right.
He hands it to Cobbins. Cobbins is going to be wrapped up. The ball's on the ground. I think the Warhawks got it back, but we'll see.
I don't think so.
Cardinals don't think so. And that is a big squander for Great Crossing, as the Cardinals shut it down inside the 10. Fumble recovered by Graham Robinson, is what they're saying.
And some of the Great Crossings players has their arms out like, they thought he was down. But I tell you, it sure did look like, I don't think the officials had blown the whistle yet when Scott County
No, Cobbins was still moving forward. And here's another good run from Jones up past the first down marker. Give him 12 out to the 20-yard line.
And this is where Great Crossing defense can't hang their head and say, why didn't we get it in? You've still got a chance to win the field position battle here.
Caden Allen on the stop. He's made several so far. Another strong run by Tago. Close to another first down. And Scott County playing Scott County football here.
Sure are. That's 2 terrific runs right off tackle.
And if you're Great Crossing, you've given away 2 great opportunities in Scott County territory. And how demoralizing can that be as we go along? If Scott County can put together a long drive and kind of steepen the toll a little bit.
Well, and I think that's kind of what's bothering the defense right now. It's like, man, we had a good opportunity to score, but they have to forget that. It's a false start.
A lot of flinching there on the black and red side of the line of scrimmage, and it will push Scott County back 5 yards. Next play will more than likely be the last play of this scoreless opening quarter, scoreless with 3 total turnovers, with a punt by Scott County mixed in there as well. Paul Garner split out to the left. I've got to think they're just going to run it here, and they will.
Still another 6 or 7 yards.
It's not Jones this time, but Campton Martin will serve the same purpose as he pushes ahead for a good gain of 7. Marked at the 34. That will be the final play of the opening quarter. It will be 2nd and 7 when we come back. Your score, the Scott County Cardinals, nothing. The Great Crossing Warhawks, nothing. Not a thing of offensive beauty so far, Scotty.
No, it's not. We talked about it was going to be defense, but I can guarantee you all week long what both coaches were hammering to their teams was we've got to hang on to the football. Turnovers will kill us, and we've seen 3 in the first quarter. So far, no, neither team has. come away with points off of it, but still, Great Crossings had a couple of opportunities to score. Scott County was driving, and then they get a sack and a strip sack. And, so neither coach can be happy right now with the way they're handling the football.
Ball security is what you emphasize in these big games. How often do we talk about it? Turnovers, special teams.
That's right.
You can talk about yardage all day long, but you can't afford to shoot yourself in the foot. And Great Crossing has now done it twice, both times deep in Scott County territory. And you only get so many chances.
That's exactly right.
In a game like this. You're playing a team that's won handily in the series twice now. And if you give them confidence.
Yeah, and we've just seen 2 or 3 plays in a row where Scott County was getting that 7-8 yards a carry, and that's what you can't have if you're Great Crossing.
Very few teams have been able to run the ball like that in any capacity.
Yeah.
As we've got the Scott County cheerleaders or dance team or entertaining us. It's kind of like a bowl game atmosphere. You're going to have a lot of stoppages in play and extended halftime and things of that nature tonight. So we will hopefully have first quarter stats for you. They won't be overly impressive. Certainly efficiency-wise in the passing game, Gabe Nichols has had a good start to this one.
Yeah.
He's used all his receivers.
Yeah, he's looked sharp every ball. Sometimes you'll come out, you'll be a little bit hyped up, and you might be overthrowing guys, but he has hit guys in the numbers. If it's an intermediate throw, he's done it. If it's just a quick hitter, and then on the ball that he threw, the fade that he threw on the far sideline was just a thing of beauty. So he's looked terrific. He's got to be disappointed that they don't have any points. But Cal, I'm looking around like now. It is standing room only.
Yeah, I mean, the first year it was a little bigger just because there were more people standing that probably had no business standing on the sideline, to be honest. That night they just squeezed as many people in here as they could. I think anybody who wants to be here tonight is here, and it's still probably a good 4,000 or 5,000 people. This is what to expect going forward in this rivalry, and I think we're seeing that the gap is going to continue to close, and there's no reason, absolutely none whatsoever, that we can't have 2 championship-level football programs in this county, and this is the beginning of it, I think. Scott County, the give to Hamilton. He's got room on the left, lots of it. First down and more past midfield to the Great Crossing, where they'll say he stepped out at the 47. But it's a gain of 19, and for the first time tonight, the Cards are in Warhawk territory.
Well, and it's the first time tonight that Scott County is able to get that corner, and the reason being is because they've been pounding it up the middle 3 times in a row where they were getting 7 or 8 yards, and now all of a sudden it's like, okay, we'll get wide on you. You tend to get sucked in because you want to stop that fullback dive.
You've got to choose your poison against the wing T
right.
when it's being run well. Give this time to Martin, loses his footing, and he will gain maybe the line of scrimmage, maybe a half yard at best.
And that was a terrific job by Drake Bird. He didn't get the stop, but he's the one that turned it in, exactly what you've got to do, and then he gets help from the rest of the squad.
Caleb Perry finished it off, as is customary these first 3 years of this program. He hasn't had to be the leading tackler this year. He's had plenty of help. I haven't mentioned Orion Fisher's name yet, but he has 8.5 sacks on the season. You're not going to get many sacks against Scott County. You're just not going to get many opportunities. Jones pushes forward for a gain of 2, maybe 3.
Big 77, Brandon Smith. Nice play there.
Smith stopped him after a gain of 3. It will be 3rd and 6.
And I think the way that they're running the ball right now, that Scott County will go for it on 4th down if they don't get it here. So
at this point, you got to have confidence in your defense.
That's
that worst case scenario, they'll take it away.
We had talked about playing the field position game, but I think Coach McKee probably likes the way they're moving it right now.
This is the most movement they've had on offense since the Dunbar game 2 weeks ago. Fakes the pitch. Hickey will throw deep. He's got Luttrell down there. Over the shoulder catch. Touchdown, Cardinals. 43 yards, no flags. Scott County draws first blood with 10:20 to go in the first half.
And talk about dropping a ball in a bucket. What a throw right there, because that was pretty well defended by Bird. In fact, I think Bird thought the whole time he was going to be able to knock it down, but it was such a beautiful ball right over the shoulder. Man, that's a tough
You see
play.
the reason that Jim McKee, who is not one to talk about individual kids while they're playing for him, says Andrew Hickey could be the best quarterback ever to come through Scott County High School. And he's a freshman, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, his potential and his ceiling are high as the Cardinals boot the extra point. Welcome back, Jacob Bange. He's perfect on the season. And they are up 7-0.
Just a beautiful play action. Get that tight end right over the middle, and wow, what a throw. I can't tell you what a throw that was, because like I said, Bird was running stride for stride with him. And I think the whole time he thought, I'm going to, at the very least, knock this ball down. But just a beautiful ball right over the left shoulder.
And you lull them to sleep with all those gains on the ground, and that's what happens.
And now all the excitement is on the Scott County side. They're pumped up. And this is where Great Crossing has got to say, look, we're a good football team, and we can't allow one score, to beat us, basically. They pretty much played ahead in every game.
Only the second time they've trailed all season. North Oldham was the other. Game 2, they trailed 7-0 until the last play of the first half. And then that game turned around on a big play. Cardinals will kick it deep. Rodriguez has had some success doing that. It's taken at the 7, some room up the middle for Harris. Down at the 26. Great Crossing will go to work there with 10:14 to play in the half.
And here's where your leaders in the huddle have got to step up. As Caleb Perry and Nichols have got to say, all right, let's come right back down. Show them this is going to be a ball game.
Warhawks have moved the ball, but they have turned it over twice in Scott County territory.
Tell you, they're slow out of the huddle, Cal. The play
5. They may have to burn their final timeout here or take a penalty. It is down to 0, and they throw the flag. So it's 1st and 15. Not what you want if you're the Warhawks.
And that was one where the coaches didn't even notice.
Now, I don't think anybody in the stadium did except for us. It was kind of strange. It was just slow developing. The energy is noticeably diminished on this side of the stadium where we're sitting. We're behind the Great Crossing crowd, and they a little more stunned than they were 5 minutes ago.
I think what happened on that play was they decided to put Caleb Perry in at quarterback, and he was slow getting in, just like right here.
He's going to take it now. They have run that play so infrequently compared to the past that it just took them a while to get ready, and they gained 2, maybe 3. So not a lot there. And Perry will check out. Or at least Nichols will check back in. And Perry will come to the sideline along with Wiley. 2nd and 13 from the 24. 9:38 to play in the first half. Scott County leads 7-0. Great Crossing with the ball here. Going from right to left on your radio dial. That's a high throw from Nichols that Coulter couldn't handle if he were 7 feet tall. And it's going to be 3rd and long.
And that's the first bad throw we've seen from Nichols. Just didn't get his feet set. Didn't point that shoulder. And you don't want to say it, but, man, that touchdown, you can just kind of see the air going out of not only the players, but the fans.
You're going to be tough. You're going to be hard pressed to come from behind if you're Great Crossing. 7-0 maybe, but if you can't get something going here, you've got to stop Scott County next time around. And there's a middle screen that's just dropped. So a 3 and out. And Great Crossing a little discombobulated right now.
And that was set up well. I think if they catch that, they get a chance maybe to get a first down. But here's where you get in the danger zone right now. You need to get a good punt. But if Scott County receives this ball and gets it on the other side of, let's say, Great Crossing's 40-yard line, then they're just going to start hammering that fullback. And
Perry back in punt formation for the first time tonight. He will get rid of it. It's a kick that will take a good bounce, and slipping on the turf is Hamilton, and that'll help the Warhawks. It will be down at the 30, so
yeah, that was a big break.
They got an extra 10 or 15 yards out of the deal there, and with 9:15 to play in this second quarter, Scott County will go back to work with a 7-0 lead. Thanks for joining us here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network. I'm Cal Oakes along with Scotty Sutton. 5-0 is Great Crossing, but they are down for only the second time this year. Scott County, they are in a lose-win, lose-win, lose pattern this season, so they are due tonight if you're a Cardinals fan. Right now, they are on top.
Well, and you have to be impressed. You know, we talked about it when we were going over the schedule early on about having to play 2 emotional games in a row. Scott County's come out there ready to play.
And they've had an emotional week besides that, too. Some factors off the field, obviously. There is a run that's not going very far. Thomas Fikert got the carry, but it closed quickly. Big J.J. Godfrey was there. Caden Allen has been all over the place so far in this game.
And Will Frazier blew that play up. He didn't make the tackle, but he got into the backfield, made him cut it up.
Boy, you see that a lot with this defense, too. It's one guy will do the heavy lifting, and 2 or 3 teammates will be there to clean up for him. They'll get a yard out of the exchange. 2nd and 9 for the Cardinals. Hickey under center. He'll hand off to Jones. Jones will get good yardage again up the middle. He'll be a yard short of the first down.
That was a terrific run right there.
Jones is just picking up 8, 9, 10 every time he touches the ball pretty much tonight. That's got to be a good sign if you're Scott County because it opens the door to so much else. 3rd and a yard. Hickey will hand off to Jones. First down, plus to the 47.
And Cal, it's a bad sign, and I've seen it the last couple of plays, where the offense is out of the huddle and set before the defense is. You can just see the body language of the Great Crossing players. They're just a little disappointed. Obviously they are. They were so hyped up. They were playing so well. They had the ball right at the 20 twice and didn't score, and then they give up the big long pass.
It's an underrated part of Scott County's offense, that big play pass. They do it so much more than they get credit for, and it can deflate you. Martin, he's kind of the changeup up the middle to Jones tonight. He's not finding as much room. Allen was there along with Lacasco. 2nd and 8. Martin will get a pair. Cards closing in on midfield again with 7:27 and rolling here. They are controlling the time of possession right now. That also bodes well for the Scott County Cardinals. It's what they're used to. Hickey under center has put the points on the board tonight so far. He'll hand off again. It is Ellis Hughley with good yardage on the left side to move the chains to the Great Crossing 41.
And that's just the big old line getting out and, moving that line forward. That's what we've talked about it. That's what they do. And man, I know they've only got one timeout, Cal, but if I'm Great Crossing coach, I almost take a timeout right here.
You really
say, look, it's just 7-0. Let's go back to playing the way we were, and let's keep them out right here. If we go down at halftime 7-0, that's fine.
Jones churning gets a couple, and no matter how much you say it's not a factor, no matter how much you feel like you've accomplished this season, Scott County's still got to occupy that place in your head. I'm sorry,
right.
those two wins we're so one-sided on the scoreboard. Now, last year's game was certainly a different tone than the first one. But to let them score first after you had 2 golden opportunities, it is just it's going to be a tough hill to climb. I'm not saying they can't, but it's going to be a tough one. 2nd and 8 from the 38. They'll hand it off again to Hughley, who will spin past the 35 to make it 3rd and manageable.
And I think if they get a first down right here, I think you'll see Great Crossings call that timeout. I think you have to. You have to just get, you got to look at everybody in the eye, bring them in the huddle. Look, fellas, look at the scoreboard. It's only 7-0. And if you're Scott County, you're just starting to smell it. You're thinking, we're going to take this ball in right now. We're going up 14-0. And we've been here before.
It's a snowball effect, and the snowball is growing into an avalanche. Jones gets stopped here, though, as the Warhawks defense says, not so fast. Fisher, Frazier. You've heard those names before. Smith was there as well, and Allen. Gang tackle to set up 4th and short. Call it 2 yards with 5 minutes to play in the half.
And this is obviously a huge play right here. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach McKee lets it run down to 1 second and call timeout.
He's got 2 to play with. We mentioned Great Crossing has 1 remaining.
Maybe try to get them to jump right here, and then if they don't, okay, we'll take a timeout, and then we'll decide what we want to do because it's already down to 5 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1. And he is waving to anybody whose attention he can get. And they will award him the timeout. So you called that one with 4:30 to play here in the second quarter. And, of course, the Warhawk fans love Coach McKee. It was fun. We did the freshman Super Bowl last year. And even for that game, even with a crowd that was a fraction of this size, every time, and McKee took over the coaching reins for that game. Anytime he got anywhere close to the field, the Great Crossing fans were hollering at him, get off the field. He loves it, too. He is a polarizing character, and he knows it.
Well, and we've said this already a couple times, but I'm going to say it one more time. This is the play of the game up to this point.
For Great Crossing, it certainly is.
It absolutely is. You've got to get a stop right here. Get yourself some momentum yourself. And I wonder, will Scott County go with its bread and butter, or will they play action and maybe try to go for the jugular? Because I'm willing to bet if they do, they might have somebody wide open. So we'll see.
Here we go. Hughley, first down on the left side.
And there was nothing fancy about that. That's just handing it off. And
new set of downs inside the 30.
And you can see the arms on the hips of the Great Crossings players. They're gassed.
This is one of those long, grinding Scott County drives. They'll throw it. Hickey, broken up, play. Coming across. Is that Wiley or Perry? Wiley.
That's a great play. Wiley, I thought, was going to pick it for a second.
He had a chance, and then I think he was smart to knock it down.
I love that play call right there, though. I'm surprised he wasn't more open than he was, and that says a lot by Wiley because he didn't get
stayed home.
Yeah, when you're, when you keep pounding and pounding and pounding, usually that's wide open.
Clock stops.
Yeah, still plenty of time.
3:57. Clock has been Scott County's friend here in this second quarter. They have drained most of it. Another handoff to Hughley. He's getting the lion's share of the work. Hasn't seen much varsity time in close games, but he moves it up to the 26. It will be 3rd and about 7. What's your call here, Scotty?
I think they're just going to, we've talked about it before. Anytime it's second or third and long, a lot of times they'll just hit that fullback,
Just stick to
get
it.
5 yards, and now you're in fourth and manageable. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see that.
I don't see Jones' helmet in the game. I don't know if he's a little banged up or what. They're using him kind of sparingly tonight. He's gotten good yardage when they have. Took a long time to develop, and I think either delay a game or did McKee. Yep, it's going to be 5 yards back. That's just a huge penalty.
Huge. That is absolutely huge.
That'll make it 3rd and 12. And now you don't have so many luxuries with your play calling.
You don't, but with Great Crossing only having the one timeout, I still wouldn't be surprised whether it's a jet sweep or again the fullback dive, just to keep that clock churning. See what you get on this play. You know you're going to go for it on 4th down. So
it is back at the 31. They need 12 to get the first down. They've got 2 plays to do it. They'll give it this way. Some room on the right side, cutting back inside.
I think he got a first
and
down.
He is right close to the marker. It's Fikert this time. So Fikert and Hughley, the young guys, getting a lot of work. Will they have a measurement? He got a good spot, and they're going to move the chains. 2:58.
And I tell you, when you got 3rd and 12 and you run that sweep and you get the first down, that is a crushing blow to the Great Crossing defense.
There have been a couple of those on this drive. It'll be Martin sweeping left, and that's going to be a flag, and it will come back.
Sure was. Great Crossing did a nice job right there of stringing it out, and then one player just got grabbed. So it was pretty easy for the official to see.
So penalties have hurt the Cardinals. They've certainly helped chew up the time as well. We're down to 2:32. They've been able to convert after the last one. But this one's a little more of a toughie. It's 10 yards from the spot, so call it 1st and 19 from the 28. Jones is in the game. I've got a feeling he'll probably just get the handoff and plow straight ahead. But we'll see.
Yeah, there'll be no panic here by Scott County. They're just going to run the ball or, a quick hitter.
It will be Hickey putting it on his hip and throwing to a wide open man at the 20. Looks like Hamilton. And he is down to the 12. So a good call on 1st and long to make it 2nd and short.
That's a beautiful play action by Hickey. Fake it to the fullback, roll out. He's got, Hamilton right there. Just a nice, easy throw.
Gain of 16 to make it 2nd and 3. Under 2 minutes, down to 140. Scott County going to use up the rest of this second quarter and try to make it 14-0 on top of that. Fikert to the left side.
Ooh, good tackle.
Close to the marker, but short, and gang tackled there. Brandon Smith, Jarvey Ray, and Trey Combs. Clock down to 1:10 and rolling. They'll mark it at the 12. So no gain. 3rd and 3. Under a minute. Martin in motion. Hickey under center. He'll hand off to Jones. Jones will get stopped shy of the 10. It's 4th down.
They got to call timeout here.
Caden Allen and Caleb Perry ganged up for that one. And now what do? Do you try to punch it in? They're on the left hash mark. They've got Bange who can kick.
I'm really surprised, unless they're going to try a field goal.
They do have one timeout. They're letting time slip away.
So that must be what they're going to do. Let it go down to 1 second and call timeout. And then kick the field goal. Or give it a shot to the end zone.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. They may not have a field goal to kick. We're going to sweep it with Hughley, get the first down, but they're going to run out of time. Just head-scratching clock management there.
When they didn't call a timeout immediately, I thought for sure, okay, they're just going to let it go down to 1 and try a field goal. But if that's what you were going to run, why not go ahead and run it? And then if you get the first down like they did, they got the first down, then you could have called timeout, and you would have had 3 or 4 shots from the 7-yard line.
That's interesting. Mark that down on your play sheet with an asterisk as we go forward.
Well, if you're Scott County right there, you're thinking, man, we had a chance to really put the dagger in them. But on the other side, Great Crossing has got to go into the locker room at halftime and say, okay, look, it's 7-0. We've talked all year about this game. We've got a great chance. We get the ball, I believe, in the second half.
Yeah, they do.
And it's not like they were just smothered. I mean, on a couple of drives, they drove the ball down the field. They had chances. Twice they were in the red zone.
Well, that was different, to say the least.
But sometimes, isn't it kind of refreshing sometimes to see a great defensive game?
We are seeing one here. This is not what we're used to over the years, but defense has come. We said defense has come to the forefront.
Yeah.
The only points tonight, a long touchdown pass to Taylor Luttrell from freshman Andrew Hickey. So we'll hopefully have some stats. We've got both teams keeping them here, so maybe we can get one or the other as we move forward here. We may have some special guests at the half. I've heard rumors. Being entertained by the Great Crossing Band at the moment. And here we go. We've got a couple, we got dueling stats here.
We'll see how close they come.
Let's see. They've got Montego Jones on the Great Crossing side for leading Scott County with 12 carries for 51 yards. Ellis Hughley, 5 for 28. Total yardage in this game is 176-60 in favor of Scott County, according to this, which seems about right. You've had the 3 combined turnovers, 2 big ones for Great Crossing. Time of possession, 16 minutes and 14 seconds to 5 minutes and 27. That doesn't add up to 24, so that's not right on here. So we've got different things going on, but
yeah.
The
big
thing we tell you is Scott County has dominated the time of possession.
Yeah.
They basically had the ball the entire second quarter. They have dominated yardage by a margin of 3-1. But that right there was a squander that may come back to haunt them. You just never know.
I agree totally, but I'm just looking, some people would see this stat sheet and say, oh, Hickey was 2 for 3, but that 2 for 3, both of those completions were absolutely huge. The one for a long touchdown, the 43-yarder, but the other, the 16-yard to Jeremy Hamilton on the nice play action. Both of those were big plays, but it's I'm still.
Both teams, it's a tale of what might have been. You had the 2 turnovers for Great Crossing deep in Scott County territory. One particularly deep inside the 10.
What do they have as Nichols throwing the ball? It's
4 for 8.
Yeah,
45 yards.
Okay,
that's
that
close.
has 41.
Hickey 2 for 3. So they're watching the same game. The 43-yard strike to Luttrell the only points, as we mentioned.
But that's just what they got to get back to, is throwing the ball.
They haven't gotten much. Scott County hasn't, out of Campton Martin, 5 yards on 5 carries. It's been Hughley, Fikert, Hamilton running wide, and Jones running up the middle. And they've hit those couple of play action passes. One to get a touchdown, one to put them in position for another one, but no dice. So on the defensive side, let's talk about defenses. So since they've been the story, Caden Allen, 10 total tackles. He has been in on everything. He has gotten after it. If he hasn't made it by himself, 6 of those are solos, by the way. But when he hasn't made the solo tackles, he's been there. I want to give Brandon Smith a call. He's been outstanding. Drake Bird, you mentioned him blowing up a couple of runs. Quiet night for Ryan Fisher, as you might expect. His bread and butter is rushing off that edge, and there just haven't been a whole lot of opportunities. Big strip sack by Luke Valencia early in the game for Scott County. Fumble recovery for Cam Keller on that one. We do expect to have a guest shortly here in the press box to join us for these halftime festivities, as now Scott County's band is on the field.
Yeah, special guest. I'm anxious to meet this guy.
Yeah, me too. I certainly looking forward to it. We mentioned before the game that a lot of hearts were in our throat last Friday night as my phone started blowing up in the office at about 11:30 with notifications that something not good had happened on the way home from that game with a good portion of the Scott County team. And we are thankful that all is well that ends well, but it was a rough situation. And tonight the Scott County Schools, before the game, honored that gentleman, Mr. Alvin Edwards. And we do have our special guest, Mr. Alvin Edwards. Mr. Edwards, thank you for joining us. Just talk about what it means for you to be here tonight after all that transpired last Friday.
I just came here with intentions to celebrate the victory of getting out of that bus safe.
Yeah. What were your thoughts? I guess I heard that you didn't even think you were going to be in that spot at that time. You were planning to be somewhere else down the road, and what happened?
Yeah, the GPS had me make a turn, and I went 4.5 miles out of my way and had to turn around, come back 4.5 miles, and off 75 there where it happened. I was maybe out of the 9 miles going out of my way. I got back on track, and it was maybe like 2 miles. I went up the road, and there was the bus.
Yeah. And what did you see there? You just saw something that needed.
It had a flame and a trail of fire of maybe 6 or 8 foot long behind the bus. And I said, man, that's looks like some type of a fuel fire. You know, it's leaking. And I said, I seen a school bus. My first thoughts, what's in a school bus? Kids.
Yeah.
I got to pull them over. You know, I got to get these kids out of here. This is, doesn't look good. It's not going to end up good.
Yeah.
So I flagged them down and pulled them over. Then when they pulled over, I got out and I asked the bus driver, where's your fire extinguisher? He said, it's right here. I grabbed the fire extinguisher, went around and tried to put it out by the back wheel. It was way up under the bus. They couldn't see the flame or nothing. And it wasn't going out.
Yeah.
It just got worse when he stopped. The wind was blowing the fire back the whole time he was driving. When he stopped, the flame started going up into the bus.
Wow.
So immediately I was just like, everybody get out. It's not going to go out. It's going to get worse. Let's everybody get out. And they was bummed out from the game and sleeping all in the bus. So, it took a lot of hollering and wake everybody up. Let's get them out,
Yeah. And then after that, everybody got out safely. And you said what? The kids were kind of congratulating you and thanking you and treating you
yes.
like you made the play of the game, right?
Yes. It was really something. And I got to give it to the bus driver. He was going down with the ship. I look back, he was still in the bus with 15-foot flames coming off the bus.
My goodness.
So I went back and said, "Hey, this is not a ship. You don't have to go down with it. Let's." But he told me, he said, "It don't want to stop.
Oh.
It's not stopping." He in his mind, he wasn't going to let it go no farther, you know. And in my experience of truck driving, I was just let off the brake. It's going to choke and die. I promise you. And it did. And I was like, "Let's go." The tires started popping loud. They were blowing. They were exploding, the tires on the bus, because of the heat and the flames. And we got out, and then that was, from that point, it was like, I was like telling the kids, I think we need to get back farther away, because I think it's going to get a lot worse.
And sure enough, it did.
It did.
So you had to be somewhere else later that night?
Yes,
after
I was delivering freight, and I just started doing this business. I've been in this 2 months.
Oh, wow.
So I'm trying to keep my name reputable and not be late on a load. So I was like, I got to go. I can't stick around. I got to go.
So between being new to this business, being in the right place at the right time, you got to feel like sometimes the good Lord or somebody up there wants us to be where we're at when we're there, right?
That's the only thing I could see. I mean, it plays back in my head, back and forth, over and over. And the only thing I could say is God looked down and said, pick somebody that he wanted to handle this job. And I guess he figured I was the one. And he put me right there where I needed to be to take care of what needed to be taken care of.
So obviously tonight, the heroes welcome. They gave you a framed jersey. They gave you a proclamation as a Kentucky Colonel. That's about the biggest honor you can get here in the state of Kentucky.
Yes,
what does that mean?
That means a lot. I've never had anything like it. It's
Now, what part of the country are you from? Are you from here originally?
I live in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. So
Yes,
you really were in the right place at the right time.
A long ways from home.
You have to go back to work after this, or do they give you a couple of days off to?
No, I'll be back Monday going at it again.
Good. What do you think of the crowd that you're seeing here and the atmosphere for high school football here in Georgetown, Kentucky? It's got to be exciting.
It is exciting. Yeah, it's nice. Everything's brand new, it looks like, and
it is certainly brand new. We were all one school 2 or 3 years ago. Now it's two. So
yeah, they was explaining to me how it works. Yes, sir.
Your family here with you tonight?
Yes, my family's here with me.
What did they think of all this?
Oh, they think I'm a hero. But I don't see it as I'm a hero. I see it as I did what I thought needed to be done. What a man needed to do. I was in that position, and I had to do everything in my power to make sure everybody was all right.
We all hope that when we get called to do something like that we will jump in and do it, but not many of us get that opportunity. So, well, thank you, Mr. Edwards. God bless you. And on behalf of everybody here, I can only add to what people have said, but we certainly consider you a hero. And the reason we're here tonight and celebrating football and a lot of other things is because you were there. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alvin Edwards, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And if you haven't heard what you weren't here to watch the beginning of this game, go back when it's over or listen to it, because he was given the opportunity to receive the hero's welcome that he so richly deserves, and we are grateful to him that we can be here tonight because of what he was able to do. So a lesson to all of us, and to be true to when we're pressed into action, for sure. We'll be back to football shortly, but it's been a good one tonight. A close defensive struggle here at Bird's Nest Stadium. The Scott County Cardinals coming off that harrowing experience last Friday night and that tough loss at Douglas, bouncing right back with a 7-0 lead. Their defense has stepped up with a couple of turnovers and then a big play in the passing game to take that lead over the Warhawks, 7-0. on the Georgetown Community Hospital Game of the Week. We do want to thank our sponsor, Georgetown Community Hospital, one more time. A sponsor of tonight's game. They have supported this event for several years now and are such an important part of our community. Thanks to all of our healthcare heroes tonight. Let's give them the recognition they deserve. Certainly when you see them in the community, thank them as well, as countless lives have been saved here in the county and here in the Commonwealth over the past year and a half. Not just at Georgetown Community Hospital, but all of our health facilities by the good folks at Wedco and everybody that's done their part to mitigate this horrible COVID-19 situation that we in this entire country and world have been in. So thank you to them. Also, thank you to our other Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network sponsors, including Steve Skierman, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, ready to meet all of your insurance needs. Burger King, home of the Whopper. Domino's Pizza. Come check out our new Georgetown location at the corner of Champion Way and US 25. Sword Performance, the official hydration product of Great Crossing and Scott County Athletics. Pick up a Shield drink at any Clark's Pump and Shop today. Jersey Mike's, come see us at our new location opening late this fall in Georgetown. We offer a sub above and BMT maintenance technicians who are factory trained and certified to serve an extensive variety of commercial HVAC, cooking, and refrigeration equipment. Give us a call today. Well, that was a great halftime. It was an honor and a privilege to meet Mr. Alvin Edwards, and just one more shout out to him. And thank you is not enough, it doesn't seem like, on behalf of both sides of this rivalry, Scott County and Great Crossing. We all ride those buses at one time or another. Heck, even as a reporter for the News Graphic, I've gone to out-of-town games, out-of-state games, and you just never know. And we are thankful. We take it for granted that our kids and our coaches, our cheerleaders, our athletes, our band members are going to be safe. But we're just thankful that they were. We're thankful that we're here for Battle of the Birds 3. It has been the closest one so far. It seems like a distant memory, that 72-7 game of 2019, as we are in a 7-0 dogfight right now. Great Crossing trailing, but they will get the second half kickoff. Scott County back on the field, stretching to get ready for this one. The Scott County defense stood up and was counted. They have 2 shutouts on the season. They blanked Lafayette 41-0. And Paul Lawrence Dunbar 55-0. Looking for their 3rd win and 3rd shutout tonight. It'll be easier said than done against an undefeated 9th ranked in 5A Great Crossing Warhawk offense that has been relatively quiet after a couple of good early drives that were shut down by turnovers. Scotty, didn't mind giving up your headset there at halftime, I'm sure.
No, that's that guy was a lot more important than me. That's for sure.
He's just so poised, and it's just I can't even imagine. I get so flustered by the smallest situations in life, and I just question what I sure as heck would have done my best, especially as much as I love and cherish all the kids in this town. But boy, just a guardian angel for sure.
That's right. That's exactly
sent from
right.
Dallas, Texas to Lexington, Kentucky last Friday night. What's your thoughts on the second half? Obviously, Great Crossing, they're right in it, but turnovers they're going to haunt you against a team like Scott County.
They are, and they have. But as I was saying right before the half, Great Crossings has to go into that locker room, and they've got to come out of that locker room now and say, look, the score is 7-0. And all that time that we were lifting weights in the spring and all that time that we were running sprints in the summer, this was the game that we were talking about. And are we going to come out here and make the plays that we've got to make to win this game? We have an opportunity. We talked about both defenses being so good. You talked about really even last week against Douglas, how Scott County just played terrific. And Great Crossing has been lights out all year. And then we talked about the competition that they played. Well, here we are, with 2 quarters to play, and it's a 1-possession game. So they got to come out and do what they do well, which I think is quick hitters. I can only remember one ball that Nichols threw that was off target. Everything else, I know the defensive back Hamilton made a nice play of stripping the ball on one play, but just about every ball he threw was right on target. I would go back to it, let him just start slinging it around the field and see what happens.
Great Crossing has not had any success running the ball tonight. We haven't mentioned it for a while, but they lost their top 2 running backs in week 1 and 2, Patterson and Wilson, and it has been by committee, and it's been a struggle tonight. They've only had 10 carries for 15 yards. And, yeah, you're right. I think their best running play right now, I think of it as, me. I'm going to call it the New England Patriots offense. But that quick out, find the slot receiver, find that quick screen, whatever you want to call it, to get 5 or 6 and get yourself in a manageable down and distance situation and keep them honest for the deep stuff.
It's just an extension of the run game when you're making that throw that they do. Just a quick out, get a lead blocker out in front, get you 5, 6, 7 yards, and then every now and then you might break it. But you've got to go with what got you here, and the arm of Nichols is a big reason why they've had so much success. And we see him over here right now warming up. I just think that's what they're going to go to. They get the ball here in the second half, and I will be surprised. Their coach is an old quarterback himself that they just don't come out and just start, okay, we're going to start throwing the ball.
Scott County, on the other hand, 27 carries for $117. Montego Jones on pace for another 100-yard night. He's gotten some help from the young guys, sophomores, Ellis Hughley, Thomas Fikert, running laterally have opened some things up for him up the middle, or he has opened some things up for them, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah, Hughley has been a bright spot.
He's been the pleasant surprise. You don't see a lot from him. I saw him a lot in the preseason. They've kind of gone away. He's come in there in games that have been out of hand, or he's not really been in there in first halves, but he was tonight. Several carries, 5 to be exact, for 28. So we will see what Great Crossing can do to move the football a little more efficiently.
Yeah,
they've got to create a couple of turnovers and get that short field going. I think. I don't think it's going to be easy for them to drive 70 or 80 yards against the Scott County defense.
It's not, but they do need to get a couple of first downs here to get the crowd back into it. They were so energetic, and it was an electric atmosphere. And then, they turn it over a couple times and then give up the big play. And then it was just kind of like from then on, it was like, here we go again. So this is where those older guys that have been through it now, this being their 3rd year, they've got to say, all right, we got to get it done.
Wrapping up halftime festivities, Great Crossing trying to get its crowd back into it. They've been a little quiet lately. They had a lot of reason to crow early as it looked like things were going in the right direction offensively for Great Crossing, but short-circuited by a couple of turnovers, and they are in the 7-0 hole. They will receive the kickoff. Drake Bird's been able to do some damage in that kick return game this season. We'll see if they can pull one off here and give themselves that short field.
Yeah, that's right. We've talked about it in a close game like this. Special teams are huge. And if you can get a big kick return right here, maybe give a short field to Nichols.
Christian Rodriguez to kick it off for Scott County. They've been unshy about kicking it deep, even against Douglas and even against Great Crossing with some of the weapons they've got back there. He will do so again. It will be taken at the 5 by Harris, and he will return it up to the 28. Coulter, excuse me. Jacob Coulter on the return, and Great Crossing will go to work First and 10 from its own 28-yard line, down 7-0. Nichols, the quarterback. 4 completions in the first half. 3 different receivers. Kelly, 2 for 15. Perry, 1, that beautiful ball for 28. And Coulter with a quick out for 2 yards.
And I'm anxious to see what they do here.
Coulter and Kelly split to the left. Nobody to the right now. They're just going to hand off to Allen. He finds some room over the left side. Past the 35, spins free. He's got a first down at the 44. Best run of the night for Great Crossing before Jackson Saylor and Elijah Adams can knock Caden Allen out of bounds.
And we just see 1 first down, and it gets the crowd on their feet. Now
They have not had many. That's only their 4th of the game. They've also been an offense that sometimes takes a while to get going. Remember the North Oldham game. Remember the Henry Clay game. Bourbon County. Took them a while. Allen again up the middle. Spins 3-4 yards. Shy of midfield at the 48. Be 2nd and 6. Allen, that's not good news for Great Crossing, limping off. I don't know if he got his ankle twisted under the pile or what. He is a key 2-way player for these Warhawks. He's got 10 tackles already on the defensive side. And they are down 3 running backs, at least at the moment, as he goes to the bench. And that will leave them. Oh, a huge hit. Zach Morris greeted by Cam Keller and Jasante Harmon. And he'll get knocked back for a yard. It'll be 3rd and 7. I think Keller made that initial hit.
Yeah, that was wicked. But now you're in a 3rd and long. You're in a predictable pass situation, and we'll see if Scott County brings the heat. It looks like, yeah, they're bringing it.
Nichols to throw high to Kelly. Takes it in. He's got room. He made a man miss past the 30, down at the 28. Saving the touchdown, perhaps, or at least a longer gain, is Isaac Krebs. But the Warhawks, for the 3rd time tonight, are inside the Scott County 30.
And Cal, what made that play so incredible was Scott County brought the heat, and then they did exactly what you should do as a defensive back, which is, I know that he's not going to have a lot of time to get rid of the ball, so I'm going to jump the route, and just an incredible catch to take it away. That was set up perfectly for a pick 6. Instead, it's a first down for Great Crossing.
Allen back in the game, but they'll throw it to Coulter on this side. He's lassoed out at the 25 after a gain of 4.
And that's kind of what I expected him to come out with, was that play right there. It's just an extension of the run. You get 4 or 5 yards.
They mark it at the 26 as Valencia and Hamilton made the tackle there. 2nd and 7. Clock stop with 9:49 remaining 3rd quarter. Great Crossing down 7-0, but driving. Nichols, quick throw over the middle, dropped. It was a little bit high, and Wiley got tattooed after he got his fingers on the ball.
Well, I think that's a play where Wiley is supposed to sit down in that seam of the zone, and instead he sort of kind of kept running. And
was a moving target,
yeah,
and a stationary target after the ball came in high.
If he just runs a nice little dig there, he's going to catch the ball, pick up the first down. Nichols knew exactly where he wanted to go with it. But
another 3rd and 7 for the Warhawks. Certainly 4-down territory here at the Scott County 26. Nichols to throw. Same pass on that right side, almost picked off. It was high. He had Peyton Harris over there, but Harris not the tallest receiver among his core, and I don't think even Perry or Kelly or Coulter would have reached that.
And the last 2 out of 3 balls from Nichols has kind of been floating.
He's got you mentioned early in the game, he was right on target, but maybe a little bit of extra mustard here is the adrenaline kicking in.
Yeah.
They haven't been behind much. And certainly in front of a crowd this size. 4th down, key play here. Nichols, time to throw. Deep down the left side, jump ball intercepted. He had Perry down there. And Scott County's got room on this side. He'll be taken down at the 22.
It just didn't get enough.
Paul Garner on the pick.
You got what you want. You got just 2 superstars going after the ball right there. But I think if he could have led Perry a little bit more, you got what you want, one-on-one in the corner of that end zone. Nichols will be kicking himself on that one.
3rd turnover of the night for the Warhawks. Scott County's defense this year, no joke. Here's another tough run over left tackle. Ellis Hughley has done some yeoman work here tonight. He gets gang tackled at the 27, but not before a gain of 5. And that's a product I think McKee, frustrated after last Friday night, he says, I'm going to give some new guys a chance to make some contributions. And Hughley has answered the call. Jones, not much there.
Good penetration right there by the Great Carlson defensive line.
Big J.J. Godfrey, actually it might have been Godfrey and Combs, the 2 biggest defensive tackles, run stuffers there. 3rd and 4 at the 28. Jones picked up a yard.
Looks like is that Bird coming off. He looks to be limping badly, Cal. That's not a good sign.
Is that Bird? Bird's still on the field.
Okay.
Is that maybe Wiley? Little shovel the other way to Hughley. He's going to be short of the 1st down by a yard, maybe a yard and a half, and we'll see what Scott County does there. It would be counterintuitive to go for it from there, but you've got enough confidence in your offense, and maybe Great Crossing a little bit on its heels right now with the turnovers. They don't look like they're sending their punting unit on. This might be a hard count at least. Hickey, quarterback sneak. He got the surge and got the 1st down.
Man, that's a gutsy call right there on the 30-yard line. It was Frazier that came out. Cal just had a cramp. He's back in.
That's good to know because they can't afford to lose him now or ever.
Going to say play action. It's got him.
Deep to Garner. Garner just made a big defensive play, but he can't get this as it's broken up by Jarvey Ray.
That ball was just underthrown a hair. Allowed the defensive back to get there and knock it down. But again, that's what Scott County lives for. You run it, then you get a big 4th down play. The defense kind of like, you've got to be kidding me. And then you come back and try to throw one deep down the field. That's a great play call.
2nd and 10, especially when you've got confidence in your running game that you can get 2nd and long.
Just like that, right? Oh,
Campton Martin.
Almost gone.
Tripped up, and he had a lot of green in front of him. Didn't see who got the ankle. But it's a 1st down for the Cardinals at the 45, gain of 11. Looks like Drake Bird made the stop, or Martin would still be going into the Great Crossing band as we speak. Time moving quickly tonight, 6:52 and rolling in the third quarter. Scott County has dominated time of possession. Hamilton taking his time, stutter stepping left. He's got room around the corner, close to the marker again. And they're going to give him good progress, it looks like. Got someone down for the Warhawks at the line of scrimmage. I think that might be Allen again, the pink socks. Let's hope it's just a cramp. They're going to mark it at the 45. Another Scott County first down when we do go back to action. No, Allen's up on his feet, so it's someone else. Is it Ray? Nope, he's up too. Oh, it's Orion Fisher. My goodness. Definitely hope it's just a cramp. He is a huge part of that defense, of course, with 6 Division I offers, including UK and Louisville. They're getting him up pretty quick. Yeah, he seems fine.
That might have been a scare more than anything.
Yeah.
It's good. You don't ever want to get anybody hurt.
No, but my goodness,
Certainly
a star of the
That's right.
growing franchise here.
You know, on the previous play, Cal, you mentioned the word or the phrase taking his time. How many times have we said that with Hamilton? It's just all right, I'm going to get out here and I'm going to stiff arm you, and then I'm going to get an extra 5 yards, and then all of a sudden I'll explode down the sideline.
Nothing doing up the middle as Frazier, Combs, and Godfrey were all over Jones there. 2nd and 10. Scott County back in Great Crossing territory, and the clock continues to run.
And this was the big concern, the Great Crossing coaching staff, which was just, if they get these long drives, and that's exactly what they're doing here. You could see them taking this all the way down and really finishing out the quarter with a score.
Hamilton again, left side, lots of room, close to another first down. It'll be 3rd and 1 at the 36.
If they get a first down right here, then you're talking about you're going to be inside 5 minutes with first down from, let's say, the 30, depending on what they do here. But
Warhawks have shut down that middle, but they have no answer yet for that lateral game of the Cardinals. Hamilton in motion this time. Martin, lots of room, left tackle, first down to the 26. Clock stops temporarily with 5:20 to play in the third quarter of this 7-0 game. Scott County controlling the tempo.
Yeah, they're trying to they're screaming. They want to hustle up. They know they've got them on their heels.
Martin again. Less room this time to the right as the Warhawks string it out with Frazier, Perry, and Bird.
Let's see if there's more urgency. I don't think there is this time. They really wanted to get up to the ball right there and snap it. Coach McKee was screaming at them to get out of the huddle and get to the ball, but
first down has not been a great down for the Cardinals tonight.
Yeah.
Second down has. They have done great things on 2nd and long, which you don't typically want yourself to be in that situation.
Yeah, that
it's
should have been a
Hughley.
penalty right there.
Hughley gets hit hard after a gain of about 5.
The coaching staff from Great Crossings, Cal, is highly upset. Scott County broke the huddle that time with 12 players, and the kid didn't get out really until right before they snapped it. But regardless,
there was an assistant coach down there jumping all over the place, wanting a flag. Nothing doing. Still don't see Orion Fisher in the game or on the sideline, so he may be in the medical tent. We've got a timeout with 3:56 remaining third quarter.
Is that an injury timeout or?
Pilot Lacasco is limping off. I think somebody called a timeout, but I don't know who. The Warhawk defense has been on the field a lot tonight, and the toll is stacking up. Lacasco will walk to the tent. Bluegrass Orthopedics tent. Hickey to throw over the middle. Hit right there, but not before another first down. Hughley makes the catch. What a game for Ellis Hughley tonight.
Yeah, and I tell you, Hickey got that off just in time.
Yeah, he was about to get wailed.
And stayed in that pocket. What poise for a freshman, because the heat was coming.
First and goal at the 10 for the Cardinals. Chance to really put some distance in this game the way it feels as a defensive struggle. Hamilton left side. Picks up 3, maybe 4. 3:16 and counting, third quarter.
And we talked about just controlling the ball, controlling the line of scrimmage. We talked about time of possession.
It has been thoroughly dominated by Scott County. Montego Jones inside the 5 to the 3. And they'll have 2 more cracks at the end zone from there. And remember, Scott County had a chance to score right before the half and kind of, I guess, mismanaged the clock. But they can make up for it here.
But if you want to get this momentum swung back to your side, Great Crossings has to get a stop right here.
Third and goal from the 3. Hickey under center. Gives it to Hamilton. Hamilton pushes the pile into the end zone. Touchdown, Scott County. 2:18 to play, third quarter.
And that's just those big boys up front, pushing the pile, getting out in front. That's a play they've been running quite a bit.
Kick is up and good, 14-0.
And I go back to that play, when Scott County had the ball on their own 30-yard line, fourth down, and they decided to go for it, you had to feel like their coaching staff just thought, okay, our offensive line is now controlling the ball, and we know we can get this. And after that, I think they ran the ball every time but once. Had an incomplete pass when they tried to play action and go deep down the middle of the field. But when you can drive it all the way down, man, that can deflate a team in a heartbeat.
That was a grinding drive for Scott County, demoralizing if you're Great Crossing. You had 2 key defensive players limp off in Fisher and Lacasco during that drive.
You're right on both sides. Scott County now, that their O-line's over going, yeah, this is us. This is exactly what we thought we could do. And on the other side, Sam used to tell me there was nothing more demoralizing than when a team just keeps running and you can't stop.
It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. Rodriguez will kick off. Great Crossing has to answer here, one would think, because they're not going to get the ball back if they don't. Kick is deep, taken at the 9. Coulter with some room up over the 30, and he'll be taken down at the 33. The time is now for the Great Crossing Warhawks. As they go back on offense, they've turned it over 3 times in Scott County territory tonight. So they've got to feel like, and if these 2 teams do meet in the playoffs, they've got to have something they can grow on and say, you know what, we had our chances. Nichols in the shotgun.
Yep.
Flags.
They flinched. Great Crossings flinched.
And it will be 1st and 15 right off the bat.
And now, up 14-0, you wonder if Coach Monty McIntyre isn't just going to turn his guys loose. They got to throw the football. Will he start putting 8 guys in the box and just start bringing the house? Or he could just say, okay, we know we got a lead. We're going to, rush 3 and put everybody else back in the secondary. So we'll see how he plays it here.
Certainly got to smell blood in the water a little bit. There's a good productive run by Zach Morris up to the 33. They'll get back what they lost and a couple to grow on. Call it 6, so it'll be 2nd and 9. Krebs made the tackle for the Cardinals. Under 2 minutes to play, third quarter.
Good catch by Perry.
Perry with the catch on the right side, but not much there. It'll be 3rd and 5. Scott County trying to get a hold here to end the third quarter. They're up 14-0, 1:15 remaining third quarter. They have scored on a couple of long drives, and they have shut down Great Crossing with 3 turnovers forced tonight. Looking for their 3rd shutout and 3rd win of the season. It would be a huge one in the district. Under a minute to play, third quarter. 3rd and 5 from his own 37. Nichols in the shotgun. He throws it over the middle. High. It's tipped. Could be another one. Falls incomplete. Armstrong and Wilhite were converging.
And that's that dig route they've been running that's been there. Just misfired a little bit. They're going to punt the ball away.
Less than a minute to go. You got to be watching. You got to be thinking about the fake here if you're Scott County.
Great Crossing rushing the guy onto the field.
Oh, here's the fake. It's Perry. He's got room. He's got first down and more past midfield to the 40, inside the 40 to the 36 before Hamilton can make the tackle, and some life from Great Crossing.
And if you're Scott County, you've just got to be kicking yourself. I'm surprised they just didn't go safe and leave their defense onto the field right there. Got a Scott County player down. I believe that's Hamilton.
Hamilton made the hit and then went back partway to the huddle. I don't know if he's cramping up or we'll see. Trainer Dan on the field.
I think he hurt his ankle.
He will get up and walk off gingerly under his own power, along with Trainer Dan and Coach McKee. Great Crossing for the 4th time tonight in Scott County territory. They have not been able to convert. They've got 22.8 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and they are down 14-0. Got to score here to make a game of it, because Scott County has been churning out 6, 7, 8, 9-minute drives most of the night. Hard count by Nichols. Handoff inside. Ooh. Popped. Johnson got the handoff, and Elijah Adams greets him at the 33. Gain of a couple. 2nd and 7. Call it a 3-yard pickup. That will be the final play of the third quarter. Your score, the Scott County Cardinals 14, the Great Crossing Warhawks zip. Here on the Georgetown Community Hospital Game of the Week, Game of the Year, between both sets of birds. Warhawks in Cardinal territory for the 4th time. And I don't think we can overstate it. They've got to score on
They
this.
got to score here, yeah. It's 4-down territory from here on out. They got the break they needed. Well, I mean, they made their own break by, faking it and getting, credit to them. But now that you've got that ball inside the 40-yard line.
Another big shout out to great Georgetown Community Hospital. They offer heart care, cancer care, weight loss surgery, general surgery, health screenings, and so much more for our community. Expert healthcare providers right here in Georgetown. Don't need to go to Lexington for some of the best healthcare around in these challenging times as we watch the Great Crossing dance team. Breast Cancer Awareness Night, of course, dressed in the pink. Third quarter stats. The offense, the yardage has closed up a little bit, or at least the gap has stayed the same, but it looks better because Great Crossing has been able to move the football a little bit. 255 to 147. First down, still 15-6 in favor of the Cardinals. A lot of that yardage was just on that play by Caleb Perry there. Perry's their leading rusher on the night, 2 carries for 30 yards. Nichols 7 for 15 with the pick, 72 yards. Hickey 3 for 5, 71, 1 touchdown, no picks. Tago Jones 14 for 67 on the ground for Scott County. Caden Allen 6 unassisted tackles, 8 assists, so 14 for him on the night. Paul Garner's been the man on defense with 4 tackles and a pick.
Not much.
Isaiah Johnson, nothing doing again as he's getting the work now. They've tried to minimize Caden Allen when he's coming back on the field. He got a little banged up earlier. Cobbins has had a tough night. I don't know if he's banged up or not. Had a turnover early in the game. Haven't seen much of him since. They've had Zach Morris in there. It's been a physically challenging game for the Warhawks on both sides. Lots of time to throw for Nichols, but he underthrows it. Coming back for the ball, though. First down inside the 5. Jacob Coulter.
And you see that all the time where the defender has terrific coverage. It's a little underthrown, and that receiver knows where the ball is. He comes back, makes a great grab. Now you got first and goal on the 2. Big opportunity for the Warhawks.
They'll mark it at the 2. Can the Warhawks punch it in? Caden Allen is the guy that will try it. Where's the signal? No signal yet.
I think they've got him down on about the inch.
They're going to mark him, and somebody's down for the Warhawks, flat on his back, and I hope that's not Allen. Nope, Allen's up.
It's like big 77.
Brandon Smith, he's had a great game on both sides of the ball. He's slapping the turf, so it might be a lower body situation. As we just were saying, boy, Great Crossing coming off its bye week last week, but they might be good for them if they had one next week because they have taken a physical pounding tonight. I don't know if he just got rolled up at the end of that play or what. You see that happen a lot with offensive linemen. You kind of get blindsided sometimes. I don't know if they're looking at his ankle or knee. What can you tell?
It looks like his left ankle, but Dan is blocking me. It could be his left knee. We are proud to partner with a team of physicians from U.S. Orthopedics and athletic trainers, Dan Volpe. He's going to, looks like he's getting up.
He's going to get some help to his feet. And And again, walking gingerly, but walking on his own, which is good news. There's going to be a run on ice tonight in Georgetown, Kentucky. I think both sides will.
It's been a physical game. There's no doubt about that.
Attest to that. It'll be 2nd and goal inside the 1, probably a foot from breaking the shutout here are the Warhawks with 10:43 to play. Smith, that's a lot of body to move over to the sideline, so it's going to be a minute.
But, Cal, you saw it last week, and marking him short right there was a huge call because
we've seen them turn it over 3 times in the red zone.
And we've also seen Scott County stop, some of the best inside the 1. And so we'll see what they get done.
Last year, the Bryan Station game comes to mind. The Ryle game as well.
Perry and Wildcat.
Perry, that's your best bet. He's going to get stopped at the 1. Nope, this official coming in, marking it right where it was before. So right at the 1 foot line. 3rd and goal. 3rd and inches. Can the Warhawks punch it in? They trail 14-0. 10:07 and counting to play in the game. Absolute must-score situation for Great Crossing. Perry and the Wildcat. And they flinch. Frazier, the tight end, moved and knows it. That's going to back him up. That's huge.
Well, Scott County ran the play where they rolled their defensive lineman to try to get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened. And we just talked about calling that first down run short of the goal line.
How huge it was.
Now here you are, 3rd and 5.
And you don't have much of a traditional running game going for you right now. So you've got to find a way to throw a jump ball and get it in the hands of Perry or Kelly or Coulter.
And now instead of running that Wildcat, they're going to put Nichols back in. Might want to call a timeout here with 1. They
snap it. Nichols throws it. Kelly, that jump ball. He's got it. Did he get a foot down? Yes, sir. Another clutch catch in the right corner of the end zone for Zachary Kelly. And we've got ourselves a football game. 9:26 to play.
And that's a great catch because Hamilton was all over him. Not only does he make the catch, keeps his feet in bounds. Great Crossing right back in it. Ooh, bad snap, and they blocked it.
Block PAT. Campton Martin comes in there with others. Keller.
It just short hop Perry, and he was able to get it down, but it just threw off the timing just enough to where the big defensive linemen were able to get their hands up and make a block.
So 14-6, and that's a big one as we go forward.
Well, even though you missed that extra point, now you're within a possession. Let's see how they respond defensively. That last drive took a toll on the Great Crossing defense because Scott County said, we're going to run it down your throat, and that's exactly what they did.
They are capable, more than capable, of using up most of this 9:26. It is Scott County 14, Great Crossing 6. They will bloop it. Hughley going backwards, takes it at the 25. Not down until he gets to the 37. Isaiah Johnson makes the play.
And I tell you, I thought he had made a mistake by not letting it go out of bounds, but made a good run, picked up 10, 15 yards, able to get it out to the 37-yard line and
They'll mark it at the 38 with 9:21 to play, and Scott County. This is what the Cardinals do. They are going to try to grind out first downs. And the Great Crossing defense, a little nicked up right now, shorthanded. Fikert, shy of the 40, gang tackled.
Yep. But just as you said that, I was looking for Fisher, and
I don't see
him out there. Yeah,
he has not gone back on the field. He's standing on the. No, he's not. That's 37. I don't see 27 even on the sideline, and that's worrisome. You just hope Big O is okay. Wasn't much of a factor in this game, as we said, just because the pass rush is not a big factor ever against Scott County. But boy, are they going to need him going forward. Play action. Hickey overthrown. Incomplete. Big hit. Was it Drake Bird coming across?
Yeah, and I tell you, I think if Hickey had that to do over again, he had the underneath receiver wide open for 15-yard gain, but he decided to go for more yardage and still could have caught it. But that's one of those, as a freshman, those are the things that he'll learn.
It's big for Great Crossing because the clock stops with 8:32. Taylor Luttrell paid the price for that incomplete pass. Hickey will throw it again.
Oh,
it is picked off. Warhawks in business again at midfield. Peyton Harris with the big play, the takeaway with 8:26 to play.
And Cal, just as as they were coming out, breaking the huddle, you get the ball, and we're saying, okay, they might get a 9-minute drive here by just running the football just like they did. They come out and throw it 2 out of 3 times. Very surprised by
that. A lot of head scratching going on here. I will say that Great Crossing, those big front four have been tough to run against, and they may have forced Scott County's hand a little bit on that first down. Nichols, the throw, complete. He gets away. First down and more, still on his feet to the 20. Caleb Perry.
That's going to your best player in the biggest moment right there. Nichols hits Caleb Perry. Scott County wants a timeout. The crowd's back into it. And that's a great timeout right there. I love that timeout because it's, hey, we're going to calm things down a little bit, not let this avalanche into a touchdown. On the other side of it, Great Crossings, like I said, you're going to your best player right there. And Kerry was – I tell you, Caleb was carrying that like a loaf of bread.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to fumble.
He was wanting to score, but at the same time, you got to hold on to the ball. He got himself 28 yards. He's been kind of quiet. I mean, I say that. He's got double-digit catches on the season, and they've spread it around pretty well between Kelly, Coulter, and Perry. But when they do get him the ball, he makes things happen.
Yeah.
Electrifying the future University of Tennessee Volunteer on the defensive side. Nichols, shotgun at the 20. Hands off to Caden Allen. Allen forward to the 17.
That's a good first down run right there.
2nd and 7 with 8 minutes to play. Scott County leads 14-6. Great Crossing driving. This is the 5th time they have been in Scott County territory tonight. Deep. Only one score to show for it so far.
It's interesting to see what Coach McIntyre dials up right here on the defensive side. Looks like he's going 2 safety high.
Hand off to Allen again. He churns forward inside the 15 to the 13. 3rd and 3.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if you noticed that, but it looked like he almost fumbled that ball.
That's happened twice inside the 20 tonight.
They were
Once inside the 10. Timeout. Officials timeout.
Got a player down.
Slow to get up. Is it Cam Keller? I think it is, because the two big guys have the white helmets tonight, Harmon and Keller. Is it Krebs? I guess it's Krebs, they're saying. Oh, well. One thing I can say for sure, after tonight, they can't say Great Crossing hasn't played anybody. They have answered the bell against this Scott County program. If they don't come back and win this, they will certainly kick themselves.
77.
It is Keller. I was right. They look too big to be Krebs. I just noticed Chase Little is on the sideline too. So Great Crossing has played phenomenal defense tonight without some of its big guns. Fisher, Lacasco, Little, all banged up in some form or another. Third and 3, 4-down territory, down 8, 7-11 to play. Warhawks threatening once again. Gut check time for the Cardinal defense. Nichols in the gun. They will go the other way with Perry, but the Cardinals read it well. Tackle for loss by Jasante Harmon, and Jackson Saylor will set up 4th down.
And that's just super disciplined by the Cardinal defense. Stayed at home. That's just a well-coached team right there. You could see it. I mean, they didn't bite. We're going to stay in our lanes. And now, wow, what a huge 4th down this is. And we'll see if they draw up, if they bring heat, are they going to drop? Right now, 3 down linemen. We'll see if he brings those linebackers or brings somebody off the edge. No, looks
4th
like
down throw. Nichols has time. He goes up. Jump ball tipped. Incomplete. Great Crossing receiver had to play defense. After the ball's tipped, the fans are going, what? But after the ball's tipped, all that contact is fine.
And that's where we go back to that timeout. They had a couple of big plays, got it down there, 1st down from around the 20-yard line. Crowd's going crazy. Take a timeout. Things cut. You let your defense calm down a little bit, and then you get them, 4 down.
6:16 left. Cardinals nursing a 14-6 lead.
And I'm willing to bet they don't throw the ball here. I'm thinking they're just.
I don't think you're going to see Hickey throw the ball again tonight. Jones breaks away for a 1st down and more to the 36. 19 yards for Tago. And maybe, just maybe, the Great Crossing defense is starting to wear down. They have been on the field all night long.
Long time. Well, we looked at the time of possession after 3 quarters, and I think it was 23-12.
Well, they are playing, as
and
we
they're
mentioned,
missing, just like you said,
they're missing some big parts. Showing their depth for sure. And even some of the guys that are on the field, we've seen banged up tonight. Allen among them. They're just going to give it to Tago. He'll churn ahead past the 40 to the 42.
And I still don't see Fisher out there. I hate that. I hope the young man's okay.
I hope that's not more than. Hope it's just precautionary. He's a special player. Cards taking all the time the play clock will furnish them. It will be down under 5 minutes before they snap it again. Or close to it. Jones, 45, 1st down. Just past the marker at the 46.
That's where that O-line is just taking over. I do see Fisher standing on the sideline, so maybe he's got his helmet off, though, so it's obvious he's not coming back into the game. But he's not on crutches or anything.
Yeah, I see him now. He's got kind of a hand warmer on his back. Just maybe this is a game where honestly his game doesn't really apply as much. Maybe they're just keeping him out for that reason. Jones just plows ahead past midfield to the 49.
And I tell you, we talked about how Scott County not going to throw the ball again, but right there,
Ricky Bowling's going to use his first timeout.
Yeah, and that's a good call. But had they decided to throw it right there, they had two receivers wide open.
Yeah, you could put the dagger down here,
and I wouldn't be.
It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah,
we said Hickey might not throw. I said Hickey might not throw again tonight, but there might be an exception there. If you're selling out to the run like that,
and they are. Yeah, they're putting 10 guys in there.
(14-6). Scott County with the lead and with the ball. 4:14 to play. The Warhawks use their first timeout, 2 remaining. Cardinals have 2 remaining if it becomes a factor. Reset it for you. It's 2nd and 5 for Scott County at the Great Crossing 49. Want to thank you for joining us. If you couldn't be here at just about sold out Bird's Nest Stadium, most of the seats were taken at the start of the game.
And we'll see here if I'm not sure if Coach Willard is still up in the press box, but he could have called down right there and said, "Hey, we've got this if we want it. If we want to play action and throw the ball."
They were in the backfield early there. Hickey wouldn't have had time to throw there anyway. Jones just got piled up. And do you use another timeout here or do you save him? It's going to tick down under 4 minutes. 3rd.
He's going to let it roll
and
here.
12. So now you've got to be on your heels a little bit for that pass. An incompletion would stop the clock. Cardinals going to let the clock roll down to 3:30 before they snap it, more than likely. They're going to run to the left. It's going to be stopped short.
Well, they're not calling it.
Jeremy Hamilton runs wide. They are going to call the timeout here. Lacasco back in the game, limping, but he made the tackle along with Zach Morris.
Let about 5 seconds get off the clock there before they decided to call it. But
so 4th and 6. We'll see if they try to punt and pin them. I would think you would have to. You'd want to put it on your defense.
The way your defense is playing, I think you have to. Now, having said that, you got to make sure you protect, get the punt off. But that's what good teams do. When you got to have a good punt right here. And
McKee kind of pacing, getting ready to give his final instructions before the Cards head back out on the field, and we will see what they do. Warhawks defense / special teams is ready. A lot of guys, Montego Jones limping noticeably as he comes out on the field. This has been a physical game. As the score indicates, 14-6 here in the black and blue division.
And
who jumped? Scott County jumped, I think, from the looks of things.
I thought Great Cross.
Both sides think the other did. Now Campton Martin was kind of gesticulating like he thought the Cardinals did. And now you have to punt. Shades of the Bryan Station game.
They had a high snap last time. Let's keep an eye on that. Oh, my.
Blocked partially, maybe. They got there. And it will roll dead at the 37.
Cal, I think he was so worried about roughing the kicker. He could
He
have
could have
easily
blocked
blocked that.
Because after you block it, it don't matter if you
Yeah.
hit him.
Easily have blocked that. They'll watch that film tomorrow or
Kick
Sunday morning.
themselves.
Man.
.311 to play. Warhawks down by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. They will throw it to Perry off his fingertips, incomplete.
Well, they had it defended well, but that's still a ball that Caleb will tell you I got to catch.
A little bit high, and they did have two guys there, but you got to tuck it in. Clock will stop. That's the good news for Great Crossing with 3:07 to play. Nichols.
Here comes
He's
the heat.
scrambling to the right. He throws on the run. He's got Perry down there. Oh, he had his hands on it again. Almost intercepted by Wilhite, then almost caught by Perry. We'll call it a draw. Incomplete. 3rd and 10. 3 minutes exactly to play.
Well, Wilhite was smothering him. I mean, he was playing terrific defense. But Perry, with that athleticism, we got a flag down. It might be a hold.
So it's not going to matter anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to back it up. It's going to be 2nd and 20 or maybe longer.
Coach McIntyre dialed up the heat that time. He brought
I think
7
he might
guys.
as well continue. It's going to be 2nd and 25 because 10 yards from the spot, and it was to benefit and keep Nichols from getting sacked. So it was well behind the line of scrimmage. A long way to go for the Warhawks now. They're on their own 23, 77 yards from potentially the tying score.
Here they come again.
Nichols. Incomplete. Could have been picked again. He tried to find Coulter, but there were two Cardinals in the vicinity. 3rd down and long, rather. 3rd and 25. 2:55 to play. Cards 14. Warhawks 6.
And right here, you got to get something. I mean, you got to try to. You're not going to be able to go, if it's 4th and 25. Try to get 10, 15 yards here, make it manageable on 4th down.
Nichols, lots of time. He'll go deep down the right side. He's got Perry, but he overthrows him just a touch. That's Wiley, excuse me. Coverage, Valencia and Wilhite, and it's going to be 4th and forever.
And Nichols was locked in on him because he had backs who snuck out of the backfield, just right there for a little 5-yard catch that had some space. I thought that's where they were going to go with it, but he immediately was locked in on that play.
This Cardinal secondary has been tough tonight. Garner with a pick. Wilhite with his typical game where he's in on everything. Luke Valencia, a rising star for this defense, only a sophomore. Here we go, 4th and 25. Nichols throws a prayer. It's underthrown, well underthrown.
Got deflected.
And the Cards will just have to pick up a 1st down here.
And Nichols is deflated, obviously, but I tell you, the hold was a huge call. You get 4th and 25, and Scott County can pin their ears back. That's tough to happen.
Scott County at the Great Crossing 23, but they don't need to score. They really just need to use up 241 here. Of course, they'll take it if they can punch it in.
Oh, good
Martin
play right
wrapped up. He has just not had a productive night at all. Tackle for loss.
Warhawks go ahead and use one of those timeouts.
Lawrence Stroh, we haven't called his name much. I think he might have been the guy that almost got to the punt a minute ago. Big tackle for loss there for 4, so it'll be 2nd and 14. 2:34 left, and the Warhawks do have a timeout after this. So they could have enough time to throw a prayer or two. Have a tough call on the Georgetown Community Hospital player of the game tonight. You could split it about 11 different ways on the
really
Scott County defense. Yeah. Paul Garner had a big pick, and he's been leading tackler here for a couple of weeks. Elijah Adams has had a heck of a game. Valencia, Krebs.
But I agree with you that it would be a defensive guy.
I think you got to go there. This is the 3rd defensive gem. It's not a shutout, but Scott County giving up only 6. And you got to give a call to the Great Crossing defense. We knew they'd be tough, and they have been. They're going to go wide with Hughley. It's been a good play all night. He'll pick up a big chunk of it down to close to the 15, and he'll stay in bounds, more importantly. Heady play by the sophomore.
Great Crossings was ever so close of causing a turnover right there. He was in the backfield and had a chance right there to make that play, but he went after the quarterback and got the quarterback just as he was handing it off.
Clock under 2 minutes, 14-6 Cardinals. Play clock down to 10, 3rd and 3 at the 16. They're going to use it up.
Well, they're just
call a timeout.
Yep.
They will call the timeout with 1:41. I don't know if they'll put any time back on the clock, but 2 seconds ran beyond the play clock expiring.
So they'll run this play here. If Great Crossing can stop them, they'll call a quick timeout. Then it'll just come down to that 4th down. And if they stop them, then you're talking about getting the ball back with about 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. And from the 15-yard line, the way this defense is played, it's going to be a tall task for Great Crossing.
Scott County, a 1st down would really put it away here, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Other than a turnover.
Well, I would think if they get a 1st down here, they'll just knee it.
Yeah, victory formation.
Yeah.
Warhawks do have a timeout, but that's not enough if Scott County gets the 1st down. So, ball at the 16, 3rd and 3. They'll go with Hughley. He'll get the 1st down at the 12, and that's going to do it.
And the clock is stopped. I didn't see him call a timeout. Maybe they did. Did we get a penalty?
We got a penalty.
Yeah.
Well.
Must have had a hold.
Yes, so. I didn't see the signal. Would have been a game-clinching 1st down. I mean, they get to run some more time, I guess. That's not going to get there. Hughley again. Did the clock move? Okay, that's moving. 1:32.
Well, I don't understand why Great Crossings is not calling timeout right here. Because
I guess they're going to save it for when they have the ball. I don't know.
You're letting
it's going to be down under 40 seconds.
Run off. And at least on the offensive side,
you can spike it.
You can get out of bounds.
I don't agree with it either.
because if you hold them here, the clock's going to stop.
Especially with that distance to drive from there. I mean, you can't. It's going to take a miracle.
Now Scott County will call time, but as you said in the first half, that's a head scratcher.
Yeah, been a couple of those tonight.
Timeout, Scott County. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, children, call your eyes, call over with grandma, granddad.
4th and 12 with 55 seconds left.
So I need y'all here to pick me up and completely cut the lights off right after this game. And call DT, he got a plus for y'all.
Fourth down for the Cardinals. They can put it away, or the Warhawks will have a last-ditch prayer with less than a minute. They will run it wide with Hamilton. And he will get to the corner.
Got it.
And he will get the first down, I do believe.
Well, I think it was everything that we thought it was going to be. I mean, 14-6, we talked about it being a defensive game. From the Scott County standpoint, you know, they're thinking, hey, we're still on top. But Great Crossings can take away from this game, that take away the 3 turnovers. And you hate to see that at the end of the game.
And we've got tempers flaring.
That's not what you want.
Not necessary from either side. You know, both teams have represented themselves well. Certainly the Warhawks, nothing to be ashamed of here. They're going to get another chance. This game's going to be replayed in about 5 weeks. Unless, even if Great Crossing somehow shocked the world and went to Douglas and won, it'd be a 3-way tie. But more than likely, these are going to be the 2 and 3 seeds in the district. They're going to march that penalty off against the Warhawks.
Well, and he's getting an earful right now by his coach.
It's definitely not the way Coach Bowling and this staff do things. And they're just going to kneel on it.
Yeah, you want to get it to 25 and then snap it one more time.
Drew will go into victory formation. That will do it. They won't have to snap it again. Your final from Bird's Nest Stadium. The Scott County Cardinals 14. The Great Crossing Warhawks 6. It was a heck of a ball game. Let's do it again next month. We've got to pick a player of the game, and my goodness, that's going to be difficult.
You've done it all year. I'm going to let you do it.
Yeah, well, thanks. I'm going to go with Paul Garner on behalf of the defense.
They played a well of a game.
He had the pick at the goal line that kind of sealed this one. So we're going to go with Paul Garner, but we could go any of half a dozen ways.
And now we got the students sort of
waving, and
waving
that's all
other.
part of it. Hopefully we keep it healthy tonight in every sense of the word. But we're going to sign off and get down to the field. But thanks again, Scotty. We look forward to hopefully 2 games next weekend. Thursday night, Scott County will take on Grant County here, and then Friday, Great Crossing against Montgomery County. But until then, on behalf of Brett Smith and James Scoggin and Mike Scoggin and DT Wells, I'm merely Cal Oaks. Go to newsgraphic.com for all the details. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.